The doors of your car will close automatically. Please keep your head and arms inside and remain seated at all times. And please, no smoking. Thank you.
Matterhorn Matt presents Matterhorn Mondays.
Hey there, Mountaineers. Welcome to episode 55 of Matterhorn Mondays. I'm your host, Matterhorn Matt.
And I'm Alex the Historian.
And today we are joined by special guest, Kris from LMGVids. I'm sure you guys already know who he is.
Hello, everyone. It's LMGVids. How you doing? I'm dabbing right now, but you can't tell.
He's dead. We need a webcam for both Alex and Kris for the next live stream. That would be kind of cool.
I don't think you want a webcam on me. I'm okay with that.
I have a webcam, but I didn't shave, so it would look awful.
Understandable. You should be cool and call yourself Double M. Double M for Matterhorn Matt. What's up,
Matt,
guys?
The reason why...
This is Matterhorn Mondays podcast. I'm your host, Double M. That was awful. Anyways.
Cut off my joke for your awful joke, Matt.
Oh. You can't spell live stream without late night tinkles. That is very true. I already forgot the name that we chose for the replacement name for the spooky stories. I think I wrote it down. Okay, I have it written down. Okay, never mind. I have it. False alarm. Anyways, hello everybody. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Yeah, it was Matt hosts Ghosts, and then there's also a Swinging Wake is the two that I wrote down. So I guess we can vote between the two of those once we start getting into the stories.
I vote for Matt hosts Ghosts.
Matt hosts
Swinging Wake
Ghosts.
Sounds more like a Haunted Mansion thing.
Okay, that's one for Matt hosts Ghosts. You guys, I guess you guys can put your favorite, whichever one you want, in the chat right now, and we'll tally the votes later once we get into the spooky stories. But yeah, I have my fresh Snapple here for you guys. I want to do like an ASMR opening for you guys. Let's see if I can do this without messing up. Oh, it's like slippery. Okay.
Matterhorn Matt ASMR channel confirmed.
There we go. I hope that was satisfying enough for you guys. Okay. Swinging Wake sounds like the name of an adult film star. Okay. I think we know which name we're going for then. Thank you, some guy. Alright, this is already starting off very well. So you guys can already tell this is going to be a great...
Because of that, Matt, I switched my opinion. I want to go to Swinging Wake. That's a much better one.
Okay. Yep. So that's two for Swinging Wake. I think Alex voted for it in the... That's 3 for Swinging Wake. Okay, yeah, we'll guess we'll tally those once we get into the spooky stories time. But as you guys can tell, this is probably going to be a pretty good podcast. So let's get right into... That's not what I wanted to switch to. Let's get right into this week's Disney news. This week in news, new trailers for Mary Poppins Returns and Captain Marvel were both released this past week. I want to get into the Mary Poppins Returns trailer after we finish. This news. Just because I feel like some of us might have a few things we'd want to say. But links to all the articles I'm reading off of will be down in the description below. As always, second bit of news. According to comicbookcbr.com, I can't remember what CBR stands for. Comic Book Report, something like that. Disney's 2018 box office is their second biggest in the studio's history. So all of us who are saying that Disney needs to stop remaking all these live-action reboots of their animated movies, and if for all you Marvel haters out there, that Disney is making the big bucks when it comes to their box office, because... Oh, excuse me. Okay, so according to CBR.com, after this past weekend, Disney's 2018 combined box office totals stand at $6.4 billion. $6.46 billion. That is a lot of billions of dollars, guys. Or I'm sorry, 6.4 billion. What was that thing? 6.4 billion crunch shekels. Not dollars. I'm sorry. I don't know what a crunch shekel is still.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard that before.
So this surpassed last year's 6.45 billion. But it says they're the same. I guess they're projected to go over 6.46 billion. So but 2.74 billion was the total amount of dollars accumulated from the domestic box office, while the overseas had 3.72 billion and counting. So this is kind of cool for all you Disney movie lovers. Disney's definitely going to keep making their movies because this is their second biggest box office year in the studio's history. Moving on to our last and final bit of Disney news. This is sort of a sad piece of news. Rafiki's Planet Watch is set to close permanently next month in the Animal Kingdom.
That is extremely sad.
I can't remember what Rafiki's Planet Watch is. I think I went there. Okay, perfect.
Basically, Rafiki's Planet Watch is shoot, I forgot what land it was in, but you basically take a train to there. It's like this really well themed train. You go behind the scenes of Animal Kingdom. You can see all this really cool stuff, and they drop you off, and then you walk through the little jungle. Then you get to Rafiki's Planet Watch. And that's what they help. They teach you about animals, how they take care of animals. I think a little bit on pollution, how it can hurt animals and stuff. You can walk straight back. It's like a literal like back and forth path. You walk one way, then you see a building, you keep walking up, and then there's something up there. You turn back around, and you come back to the train. And you go back home to Animal Kingdom. That's
interesting.
What it is, but I mean, I literally like it because they have the train. So
just because of the train.
As long as they don't close the train, it's okay. But I'm actually kind of sad because they're closing the area.
I think I remember going on the train and walking through. It's been a while. My memory isn't the best, but for all of you Rafiki's Planet watchers, lovers out there, I'm sure you all will be very sad because I don't think this article gives a reason. Yeah, I'm skimming the article. It doesn't really give a reason. It just says that it's closing permanently on October 21st. But it also says cast said that some of the experiences that can be found will find their way into the main part of Animal Kingdom in the future. So they might not get rid of the train. Hopefully they won't. I do remember riding the train. That was pretty cool. But anyways, moving on to, I want to talk a little bit about, where is this article? About the new Mary Poppins trailer. I don't know how many of you guys have seen the new Mary Poppins trailer that was released. I think it was released on Monday. According to a podcast, an animator who worked on the Mary Poppins Returns film says that the movie contains 20 minutes of original, or I guess not original, contains 20 minutes of 2D animation. So, for those of you wondering whether or not this movie was going to have 2D animation, there is your answer, because it's going to have 20 minutes. But I'm not really sure if it's going to be hand-drawn animation or like drawn on the computer. But I really hope it's going to be hand-drawn. But it's probably gonna be computer animated.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's probably gonna be computer.
So when I saw the animation in the trailer, at least, it looked like hand drawn to me, because hand drawn has a specific style to it.
Interesting. I couldn't really tell the difference. But
you can't yeah, okay, yeah, never mind.
But yeah, so for those of you guys who were skeptical on whether or not this movie was going to have any 2D animation like the original, there's your answer. 20 minutes of it. I don't really know what the general consensus of this movie is yet, but I do have a few stills from the trailer that I want to cycle through. So there's that, and then there's that, and then there's that. So I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the new Mary Poppins movie.
LMG the podcast.
Yeah, I saw that. I think I think I asked Alex once the first trailer released, but this is the second trailer, and I don't think I've asked Kris about this. But what are your guys' thoughts on the new trailer, and I guess this the new Mary Poppins movie in general? Let's start with Kris, since I interrupted him earlier.
You're putting me on the spot right after you interrupt me. Great. You know, I'm gonna come out clean here. Many of you guys might not like my opinion. I didn't really care for the original Mary Poppins that much. It was just like, I mean, it was a nice film and all, but I don't get like the giant like, wow, it's like amazing movie. I thought it was a cool movie to watch.
Oh my gosh.
But, I can see Matt covering his mouth right now, so I think, okay. I'm gonna get a lot of people hating me for that. But as for the trailer, I mean, I'm not like exactly excited for the movie, but I do like how it looks like, at least, they incorporated 2D animation right back into the actual movie. Because 2D animation has a specific movement to it. They don't usually animate per frame. Like, so what they do in computer animation is in actual animation, they would draw a certain frame, and then they'll move a little bit and draw a certain frame, and they'll cut out certain frames to make sure that it cuts down on time, because making 2D animation is very expensive. Compared to computer animation, even the more expensive ones, they don't draw frame by frame. It's just not like that. So I'm pretty confident it's 2D animation. Could be wrong, but so I mean, I'm excited for that. But movie, I mean, I'm just like I'm interested about it, but I'm not like gonna go out there and. Trailer. I give you my opinion on the movie. So yeah, just go on to Alex now.
Since I don't think I've ever seen anyone or met anyone who hasn't like loved the Mary Poppins, but that's okay. You learn something new every day. I learned something new about Kris. Now it's Alex's turn to tell us what he thinks of the new trailer and the new Mary Poppins movie.
I have to actually wholeheartedly agree with Kris, because while I liked the movie, I didn't find it like spectacularly amazing. A high five next time I see you, Alex, because you're the first person I've seen that actually has the same opinion as me. I mean, it's good. I just don't, like I probably would only watch it maybe once every like 10 years. I don't really I wouldn't see it more often than that. I'd guess though that my favorite song from the original movie is "Feed the Birds." It was Walt's favorite song too. So anyway, but when it comes to this new movie, I just feel like it's like 50 years too late to make a sequel.
Has it been 50 years?
I think it's been more.
Oh, that's okay. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. So I think it released in 62, so it's got to be like more than 50 years.
I think it's 64. Yeah, 64.
Really? 64?
64.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, so I think it's just been way too long for a sequel, so it just seems kind of like, oh, well, it's not, it's obviously not the original Mary Poppins lady. What's her name?
Julie Andrews. Mary Poppins lady.
Julie Andrews. It's funny because the other podcast, you didn't know what her name was, so I told you it was Julie Andrews.
Oh, that's true.
And now this time you're telling me it's Julie Andrews. Who really knows her name? Anyway, I love Julie Andrews, as an actress, so it's just, I don't know. I just feel like this movie is just a little bit too late. Anyway, I don't foresee myself going to the theater to watch this, believe it or not. I probably won't.
I agree.
I don't know.
I'm trying to hold a smile right now.
Mary Poppins is one of my favorite Disney movies. I don't really know. I rewatched it the other day, and I was trying to figure out why I like it so much. I guess the main reason I like it is because of how great the music is. But I guess I was thinking about this the other day too. I guess I would see this opening day. I think it's coming out on either on Christmas or like around Christmas time. So depending on like the day it releases, I'm probably gonna try and see this like the first day it opens. But Michael Eisner asks, why isn't Julie Andrews in the trailer? She's not gonna be in the movie. I think she was quoted on saying that she didn't want to take away the spotlight from what's her name? The main actress who's now playing Mary Poppins. Emily Blunt.
Idea who any of them are.
Emily Blunt, yeah.
Married to
No,
Jim
all I
Halpert.
know is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
He's the one that I can't remember the name of for some reason. Well, Dick Van Dyke is going to be... Some guy just mentioned that Dick Van Dyke is going to be in it. Meryl Streep is in it too, so we'll see. It might be good. I said this the last time. It all depends on how good the music is in the movie. And in the trailer, we got like a little tiny tease at Emily Blunt singing. I don't know if she can sing or not. I don't know if she's done like any other roles where she's had to sing. But hopefully she can sing really well.
Hopefully
yeah.
better than Belle.
Hopefully better than Belle from you mean from like the live action remake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the actual real Belle.
Okay.
No. She sings really well. No, the live action remake was the auto tune literally screeching out of the speakers. It was a little.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think I can't remember her name either. Emma Watson. That's it. Emma Watson
Girl who, yeah.
couldn't really sing, and she's not. She had like a. Oh gosh, like a British
Subtle
accent.
thing, but yeah.
Even though they were in France, that didn't really make sense. But I guess in the original movie, Belle didn't have an accent either. But that's it. I guess it doesn't really matter. But anyways, moving on to. Oh, this is what Alex was talking about during the beginning of the stream, where you guys could hear him. But they took down the scrims from Disneyland, and the Main Street Cinema looks pretty nifty, you guys. Look how wonderful the brickwork is. Gosh, it makes me want to sit down there and watch a movie inside.
Yeah, I saw it today at Disneyland, and wow, I mean, if you look at the bricks, it's just some of those bricks are a nice burgundy color. The dark color trim around the top of the building, it just looks it looks so different now from the rest of the buildings on Main Street, but in a good way. You know, some of the buildings, they kind of almost melt together because they have the same color schemes or close to it. But this one really pops now, and it's just like, it looks amazing.
Not to mention, I'm gonna jump in here a little bit. Some of the Main Street buildings, over the years, it looks like if you touch them, they'll be like plastic or wood or whatever, plastic or like fiberglass. It doesn't feel real. But you look at this, I feel like if I walk up the bricks and touch it, even though I know it's not real brick, it looks like if I touch it, it'll be real brick. So it looks really, really realistic now. I do like it.
Yeah, I was actually just about to say, I wonder if this is real brick or not, because it's hard to tell from just these couple
Most
pictures.
likely not. Most likely
No,
not.
you know what it is they use it's real brick, but it's not constructed use a brick as basically they take these little thin squares of brick, and they're really thin, and they just paste them onto the outside of the building.
It's
so
how, yeah. It's
yeah,
how all the
and
the
so
Right, Matt, Mike.
yeah.
Oh, that's outside my house. Never mind. I thought that was your sister. I'm kidding.
Oh no, no.
Outside my house. I'm sorry.
My door is locked. I would have been very creeped out if it was my sister in my room. But yeah, it does look nice. I love the way this looks. Maybe they'll update some of the other buildings to look this nice. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of no fun. It's not real. I mean, it's not like real, actually made of bricks. So that kind of killed my vibe. But I guess it still looks really pretty.
Sorry.
You
Well,
know,
that's how they keep down prices. It's really impressive. They had that, and the Blue Sky Cellar. They actually had a back in 2013, I think they actually showed how they built it, and it's like literally half an inch. It's half an inch. The Fantasyland where the wood is, it's like a quarter of an inch wood, a quarter of an inch, and like an inch of steel, and that's it. It's just like literally half an inch of stuff, and everything behind there is just empty. It's really smart how they do it.
Yeah, I agree. Like if you look like any wood beams that you see in the park, like whether it's at the Jungle Cruise building or if it's in Fantasyland, if it looks like it's made of real wood, it usually is.
Did he say wood beams?
What Kris said, it's actually just a thin, like half-inch or quarter-inch sheet of wood covering a steel beam. So so that's how they do it. But I have a funny story about Main Street though, because Kris said something funny about some of the buildings don't look real, like we're made of real wood or whatever. But there's a funny story because all of the wooden gables and all the carpentry work that they did on Main Street for the outside of the buildings was all done originally in wood in 1955. And over the course of the years, they never changed it. It was all still made of wood. However, over the years, something would happen to the wood. The wood would get damaged or whatnot. So what they would do is they would fill in the holes or the cracks with wood putty. And there was a story that in 2005, when they decided to completely repaint Main Street for the 50th anniversary, they had sanded down all the coats of paint, and they saw that like all of the wood features of Main Street were like 85% wood putty, and the rest was like the original wood. So they had to like rebuild like almost all of Main Street's wood features with brand new wood.
What is wood putty?
Wood putty is something that carpenters use when they're refurbishing like an original wood piece that's usually very old. They never use it for anything new. You'll never find it used on anything new. But if it's like an old wood furniture piece or something, and it's got a huge crack in it or a hole that you don't want to see, then they'll use this type of putty. It's like almost like Play-Doh, except kind of smearable. It's smeary. If you like. I don't know the word for that. It smears. And so they fill the cracks or the holes with this like whitish putty. They let it dry until it hardens, and then they paint over it.
Interesting. I had never heard the term wood putty ever.
Yeah.
Up until just now. Did Kris tried to say something, but did you have anything that you would like to add?
What did I say? Did I try? I forgot already.
Oh, never mind.
I don't remember. I was just listening to Alex. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's really cool because when I worked in Frontierland at Riverbell Terrace, there's these doors to this restaurant that it used to be a restaurant. It was called Don DeFore's what was it? Silver Banjo Barbecue. And they still have the original entrance doors for that restaurant. However, one time I saw them repainting it, and they sanded it down, and literally the bottom of the doors, which always get damaged because people kick them or whatever, literally all of it was wood putty. You could tell when they sanded it down, like there were only little shards of wood, and then the rest was all just like fake hardened putty that they filled the cracks and the holes with to make it look like it was a squared off door. It was really funny.
I still can't get over wood putty. That's such a weird combination of like words. Okay. Anyways.
You'll be surprised what kind of weird words there are in a dictionary.
Like crunch shekels.
No, like defenestration.
Wait, what? Like what?
Defenestration. It's my favorite word.
What does that
mean? My English teacher taught me that. Take a guess. I'll give you 3 guesses.
Defenestration?
It's the best word. Just give you 3 guesses. You and Alex, before Alex goes.
Oh my god.
3 guesses.
Okay.
Say the word again.
Defenestration. It sounds like something, but it's not that.
Defenestration. Okay. I'm gonna guess
and chat, don't say it, okay? Please don't say it, chat. Thank you.
I'm gonna block off the chat. Okay, defenestration is eating beans. That's what it means.
Oh, it is not eating beans. What the heck?
Alex, what do you think that word means?
Okay, I'm just gonna totally like do like a shot in the dark because I don't even know. But the beginning of the word definis kind of reminds me of definition. So I'm gonna say that defenestration is like when you define the meaning of a word. I'm just gonna say that.
No.
Was he close?
Okay.
No, you guys are not close at all.
Okay.
No. Yeah. Okay. You want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of throwing something or someone out the window.
What?
What?
Use it in a
It's
sentence.
the act of throwing something. I like to defenestrate water out my door. I like to defenestrate water.
What? Okay. Defenestration.
Like basically the word was created when there was like I think there was like a certain meeting and they got pissed off in the meeting and they started throwing people out the window and the guy and one of the guys there was named like Stration, so they named it defenestration.
The guy's name was Stration.
Defenestration.
I think,
Are you sure his name wasn't Defenis?
This is a formal
maybe that was it. Maybe that was it.
Okay.
The window.
Oh, he's right.
Do you want to hear the remaining one?
Yes.
This is an informal term, the action of dismissing someone from a position of power or authority.
Okay, well that's, I guess, like the old... Okay.
Was it?
I thought
They
he was just
threw
making it up.
Yeah. No.
Why does your Siri have a British accent?
That's true. I don't know. I tried to download the other, like, English version of Siri, but I couldn't because I was on my cellular data, and I guess I just forgot to download the English
Matt's trying to cover
one.
up. He's secretly part of M6. No, he's trying to cover up now.
Shh. It's okay. They don't have to know. Anyways.
Hey, I have an idea.
Yes.
Let's get back to the podcast.
Yes.
thank you.
That is a great idea. Okay.
I just wanted to throw my opinion in
About defenestration.
yes, all right.
All right. Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Next 5 minutes.
I have a very interesting rumor here from WDW News Today. That is www.nt.com/2018/09/rumor-india-pavilion- okay. You guys get the idea. The rumor is that there is an India pavilion coming to the World Showcase over in Epcot, and that it will house a massive Jungle Book attraction inside the pavilion. So, you guys know there have been tons of rumors of new pavilions coming to Epcot, and I don't really know how many of those rumors have ended up actually being true. Probably like 99% were like never came true. So we'll see how this goes, but oh well, he addresses it right here in the first sentence, but apparently there's supposed to also be like a Brazil pavilion coming as well. Oh, and there was a Mary Poppins ride coming to the UK pavilion. I guess we missed out on that piece of news, but I don't know if it's a rumor or not. But Mary Poppins ride.
I think that's happening though, because there was supposed to start construction in 2018, but I don't see anything.
Ooh. So maybe it is a rumor, but Mary Poppins ride would be kind of cool. I guess it would tie in with the new movie. That's probably okay.
What if the Mary Poppins ride had like Peter Pan type ride vehicles, except that they were all kites and umbrellas?
That would be really cool. Like actually,
that would actually be pretty cool because they were saying it was going to be a D or C ticket ride because they can't put a big ride inside. They're basically replacing the store for the ride. It's a very small area.
Oh.
That would actually work.
I think I read somewhere that it was going to be a spinner. I could be wrong.
Spinner.
But
A spinner?
Indoor spinner?
I think that's what I read somewhere. I could be wrong though. But
I think you're wrong.
I'm probably wrong. I probably am wrong, but I don't remember where I read that. I read that somewhere. It probably has nothing to do with Mary Poppins, but
I love it when Matt's wrong.
yes, so do I. Okay, so what are your guys' thoughts on, well, I guess just adding new countries to World Showcase, and also the Jungle Book attraction that's rumored to be in the new India Pavilion. Links to this article is down in the description below, but let's start with Alex this time.
Well, my first thoughts are it's a really strange ride to make. I don't know why, but it doesn't seem to me like ride material. You know, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem like do you want to go on the Jungle Book ride? Yeah, let's go. You know, like it just doesn't seem like one of those kind of like things that you'd ride. But anyway, if they do, hopefully they make it off of the original animated movie and not the crappy new live act
though.
What?
Oh wait, are we talking about the new one coming out? Oh wait, no wait. Oh, I was thinking about Mary Poppins. I'm so sorry.
No.
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, where is Mary Poppins animated? My bad.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, see, I like the animated Jungle Book movie. I love all the songs and stuff from it. So hopefully the ride is based off of, if they are doing the ride, based off of the animated one and not the live action one, which is like really funny because if you think about it, they just came out with the Disney live action Jungle Book, and then now some other movie company is making Jungle Book in live action as well, and they're doing the exact same stuff. So I'm like, why? What is wrong with Hollywood?
I could talk about that for a long time. I've seen the trailers for that new. I think it's called Mowgli, and it was originally supposed to air in theaters, but I think Netflix bought the rights to it, so it's not going to air in theaters. It's going to be straight to Netflix. I don't know what that says about like the quality of the movie or anything, but from the trailer it looks like it's going to be like almost exactly the same as the live action Jungle Book. But it's funny Alex mentions that because in this article they do say that the quote massive e-ticket attraction will be based on the 2016 hit live action film The Jungle Book by Jon Favreau. So not the original animated movie, sadly. But
yeah, that is sad.
Very sad. But
it's sad because remember what I said about the 2016 Jungle Book movie was that they were like so obsessed with getting all these famous actors and actresses in the movie that they didn't bother to cast them for the right voices or roles that fit the movie. You know, like think about the 1967 animated movie. They cast what's his name, the Winnie the Pooh guy, as Kaa the snake because he could do those amazing S sounds like Kaa would say, and he sounds like a snake when he talks. And then he cast that really deep voice. He cast that really deep it wasn't Jim Cummings, Michael Eisner. Anyway, then they cast that really deep voice for Shere Khan. And it was like, wow, that really sounds like what you would think a tiger would sound like if he could speak British. So it was just a really, really good cast of voices. But then in 2016, they just cast whoever for their voices. And I'm like, none of these actors or actresses have amazing voices. You know what I mean? Like they don't sound like the characters that they're portraying. Just didn't sound right.
Actually, as long as they're famous, that's how Hollywood works today. If they're famous, they're in there. Or if they fit the political agenda, they're in there.
Yeah,
Easy.
I know.
Sad but true. Hashtag relatable. Sorry.
Bill Murray, to me, Bill Murray didn't sound anything like a bear, or even like what you would think Baloo would sound like.
That's true. He couldn't really sing that well either. I don't remember much from this movie. It was, I think the article said 2016 is when it came out. Well, they call it a hit live-action film. It grossed over $1 billion worldwide, so I guess, of course, they'd want to solidify this IP as an attraction in their parks. But I mean, they do call it a massive e-ticket attraction. So if this does come true, I guess I'd be excited to see what they come up with for this massive e-ticket attraction. Because I'm trying to think of like a way they can do this. The only way I can think is either like a boat ride with maybe like what is that one?
They said in the article that most likely they're going to be using the Shanghai Pirates of the Caribbean boat ride.
Oh.
Yeah, all the way at the bottom. I read through the whole thing.
Oh, all the way at the bottom. Oh, okay. That's
an
would be
awful lot
cool.
of boat rides for World Showcase, don't you think? Like, there's a
That's
boat
true.
ride in
the
Mexico. There's a boat ride in what's it called? The Norway Pavilion.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and then the nature area too. That's right.
In the what other area?
The plant life one where they show you all the gardens and stuff.
Oh, well, that's not
yeah.
World Showcase, but even still, yeah, I agree.
Well, that would be kind of cool if they do end up using the Shanghai Pirates of the Caribbean boat ride system. I guess now that they mentioned that, I could see maybe like a massive. I don't know. How would you make a ride about this though? That's the only thing. I don't know. You guys can pitch your ideas in the comments or in the chat. I don't really want to.
It would seem more conducive to retheme Jungle Cruise to the Jungle Book than it would building a whole new. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
That's true, but then again, the Jungle Cruise is the greatest ride of all time. So I don't think they want to do that. That is true.
The best Jungle Cruise in the world is in Hong Kong. That is boom. They have freaking flamethrowers. They shoot flames. Yes, they have. It's the only Jungle Cruise that has real fire. They launched the guest.
Oh please! If I want to see fire, I'll just stick a lighter up to my butt.
Come on. And plus, the Jungle Cruise is essentially our Rivers of America. It goes around where Rivers of America would be. Really cool.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Are you saying you can see inside your body if you can stick a lighter up your butt? Is that what you're implying?
What does that have to do? What?
I don't know. You said you can stick a lighter up your butt. So I was like, you light the lighter up your butt.
I said up to, not up in.
I was like, wait, what?
I mean, it wouldn't really accomplish anything if I stuck a lighter up in my butt.
Hey, did you guys know that in the U.S., all interstate highways that run east to west are even numbered? Boom. Anyways, this is just an amazing show. Matthew says Scott hates this podcast. Okay. I gotta take a breather after that. Okay. Quote from the article: "This project could be a few years away, as the sequel is not even set to wait. There's going to be a sequel to the Jungle Book, as the sequel is not even set to resume. What? There's going to be a sequel?
Yeah, Shere Khan comes back to life, and then
It was announced, literally 2 months after the movie.
Wait,
Mowgli
this is
finds
the first
out
I'm
Shere
hearing
Khan
of
is
this.
his father.
Wait, it makes so much sense. I don't know where this is going, but this is the first I've heard of this supposed sequel to the Jungle Book, as the sequel is not set to resume production until after the live-action Lion King is released in 2019. Okay, well, I guess, why would they... A Jungle Book sequel? Why? What?
The American public apparently wants it.
I would like to talk to the American public, give them a few stern talks, because a Jungle Book sequel with Bill Murray as the bear, I don't think so. Okay.
Given the current status of the American public, they'll probably end up calling you a sexist and a racist.
Hashtag relatable. I don't. This is just the worst podcast. I'm sorry, everybody.
I'm sorry. My opinion on it, you're just gonna skip on by me?
Wait, what did you say?
You're not gonna even ask my opinion on the Jungle Book.
Oh, did I not? Okay, what is your opinion on the Jungle Cruise ride?
Now he doesn't even want to do it. Now he doesn't care.
It's like this guy already drove off my show far enough. Just keep going.
Oh, no, I thought... Okay, I guess not. Okay, Kris, what are your thoughts on the new Jungle Cruise ride?
I'll keep it really fast, don't worry. So, the problem I have with building a new Epcot is that there's literally no space. Unless they tear away something else, or they build into where the show is, the Illumination show is. They have nowhere to put it. It's literally landlocked, or they can put a little pathway. I think between another pavilion, they can actually get behind there. But apparently they're building a new ride for Germany as well. But if they do carry around the Shanghai Disneyland Pirates Caribbean ride system, I am probably gonna avoid that ride, 100%, because I'm like one of the few people who is not a fan of the new Pirates Caribbean ride. Like, the ride system come out with the screens, it leads to a really, really messy, but it's kind of like lackluster experience.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't like it either. I wouldn't if somebody said, "Hey, Alex, do you want to ride this new Pirates of the Caribbean?" and it's anything longer than like 15 minutes, I probably won't ride it because it's just not worth it to me.
Huh. Well, I've never been on it. So.
It's like 8 minutes though. It's not even 10 minutes. It's just the problem with the ride is that it doesn't feel like you're on a boat because the boat is literally if you want screens, go to Universal. Well, the problem with Universal is that they can't some of the screen rides are really bad. Wait, no, okay, no.
Have you seen the Fast and the Furious ride? Have you seen the Jimmy Fallon ride?
That bad? It's like a step above Minions, because nothing is as bad as the Minions. But anyways, I don't want to talk too much. I'm gonna start ranting about Disney screen rides and how bad they are. So just move on, Matt. Sorry.
You know what they said about you know what they called Jimmy Fallon when he broke his arm, or when he drank too much and broke his arm. They call him Jimmy Fall on his arm. Wow. Do you guys want to know the first thing I said when I heard Jimmy Fallon was taking over the late night show or whatever it's called? I said, Jimmy Fallon, the only thing he should host is a Parasite. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on to something.
This stream is going way off.
We still got 9 people, guys. We can do this. All right. Link to this article is down. Okay, yeah, Illuminations is going away. I forgot to put that in the Disney news. There you guys go. That's your news. Illuminations is leaving Epcot. But link to this new article we're reading from is in the description down below. This article is all about Bob Iger talking about alcohol in Disneyland and also talking about the future of Star Wars movies, that is. So I think Alex messaged me when I sent him this article, and he was very fierce about what he had to say. So let's let Alex start off this conversation.
What do you want me to? Do you want me to tell people what he said?
Okay.
I can. I read it before, so but.
Okay, well then we'll let Kris go first then, and then we can try. Hey Google, okay. Stop! Oh my God, this Google.
I just didn't know what we were doing. You passed the mic to me, but there was no instruction.
It feels like it's been 6 years since I've done a podcast. I don't know why. Okay. Anyways, Kris.
well, basically, Bob Iger said he didn't want to produce Star Wars movies as fast, because Star Wars movies franchise, as it seemed, was that the viewers or the audience members were actually getting with Star Wars news, so Star Wars movies. So he decided to back off on the Star Wars movies, and he kind of joked about it too in his speech thing. So I might as well just go into my opinion here. Disney obviously knows why they the Star Wars is dropping. It's kind of obvious. If you guys didn't know, there's actually a whole huge debate over the actual employees at Lucasfilms and the actual audience. The employees at Lucasfilms are in some cases are actually harassing the fans of Star Wars.
Huh.
So like, yeah, and they actually they've been organizing boycotts online and stuff. So I mean, and Bob Iger, of course, he's not going to talk about
Michael Eisner.
Talk about this. Yeah, no. Michael Eisner would build a new theme park about it or something. But so basically, kind of like for good PR, to kind of backing off into their other thing. But it's good though, because as if they're going to slow down the Star Wars movies, that means it's going to give time for the fan base to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, the fan base won't be as pissed off, and they'll probably watch more later on. Because they keep pumping out movies every 6 months, it's gonna really hinder the Star Wars storytelling. It's gonna hinder the audience's receptions, and the people who are boycotting aren't gonna forget, since they're gonna boycott every single movie. If you wait long enough, they might forget. So, my opinion.
It's so weird though to me. I agree with what they're doing, because I also agree that there have been a few too many Star Wars movies the past couple years. But it's weird to see like this, like one movie a year is too much for the audience, even though Marvel is going to be putting out like 3 or 4 movies a year, and people aren't tired of that. So I guess that's kind of weird for me to see. I guess it has more to do with Marvel being the superior franchise to Star Wars. But yeah. What about Alex on this piece of the article?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that, like, for a while, like ever since 2015, it seemed like every year there was a Star Wars movie coming out, and then it, with the Solo coming out just 5 or 6 months after, The Last Jedi, I was just like, whoa, that's like really often. So it's kind of a good thing that he's backing off, because, I mean, quite honestly, I feel like if you slow down on it, you'll maintain interest a lot better over time, because if you just start blasting people with, what is going on? What's that noise? If you start blasting people with movies, then they're going to get bored of it.
Yeah, I mean, Solo wasn't the best Star Wars movie. I know some people who thought Solo was a good movie. Like, someone in chat just said it. I can't remember. Someone in chat said, Nate said Solo was a good movie and that The Last Jedi should be forgotten. But, yeah, I wasn't really much of a fan. But, yeah, it sort of goes back to what I said. It's what makes Star Wars so different than Marvel when it comes to, I guess, how many movies they put out. We could talk about this for a really long time, but we're going to try and keep this part of the article short. But yeah, it's like, what is so different between Star Wars and Marvel? Because like I said, Marvel's putting out like 3 or 4 movies a year. Granted, they're like different movies. Not each one of them is following like the same story as the last. I mean, you could do the same with Star Wars movies, even though the ones Disney tried to do haven't been the best. But yeah, I guess you could call me sick of Star Wars, but not sick of Marvel. But yeah, like I said, it's weird to see that.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna chime here a little bit for a sec. So the main, before Disney took over, at least, the main drive for Star Wars was that it was kind of a fantasy genre, in that it's completely disconnected from everything we know of this world. Everything in their world is completely different from our world. And Marvel is connected to this world. It's kind of like, it's like realism. Like the heroes are literally interacting with our world. They're trying to live in our world and blah, 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 blah. And then we're just living around them. So all the stuff that happens in real life kind of happens in the Marvel movies. Mm-hmm. So basically what's been happening lately is that they've been taking a lot of the our world stuff and they've been slowly pushing it into the Star Wars movies. Like how I think in the Solo they had like a SAW robot. Yeah. That's kind of interesting. They have a lot more diversity is good, but they're pushing diversity a lot harder apparently. This is stuff I heard from articles and stuff I read. And they try to do a lot more stuff that puts a lot more real world emphasis on Star Wars and takes away the fantasy aspect. So, and I guess that's kind of the reason why Star Wars is starting to feel different now, and reason why many of the fans are kind of annoyed of Star Wars, because they're losing that original fantasy element.
Okay, yeah, I
don't know. I think that the reason why Star Wars and Marvel are so different, like fans don't really care as much that Marvel movies are coming out a ton versus Star Wars fans who care a lot, because of the fact that unlike Marvel movies, Star Wars has a vision. There's certain things expected out of the characters and where the story's gonna go. You know, like when it comes to the original storyline, you expect the storyline to be about Jedis and about the Jedis being a certain way, and about the main villains being a certain way and stuff like that. There's a certain artistic vision. Whereas like when you look at Marvel characters, you can literally take a Marvel character. God, how sad is it? I don't even know one Marvel character. You can take like a character and you can give them any personality, anything you want. You can create a whole new character. I mean, what was it, like Spider-Man, for instance? Like, I think like the first live-action Spider-Man movie was the one with Tobey Maguire, and I really liked that one. But then now you look at the ones that they made since then, the Amazing Spider-Man, and now Spider-Man: Homecoming, and then the sequel to that. It's like they're completely different people, you know, like completely different. So, you know, if you tuned into Star Wars and, you know, Han Solo was a completely different guy, you'd be upset. You would be like, what? This is not Han Solo, you know? So I think it's because people have a certain expectation.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen a lot of people talk about how the Star Wars universe is really limited in the amount of stories it can tell, because like Alex said, it has to have something to do with like the Jedi, the Sith, lightsabers, the Force, stormtroopers. It has to have all that kind of stuff in the movie to make people want to go. I mean, just look at like Rogue One and now Solo. People didn't. I can't speak for everybody who hasn't or has seen the movie, but I'm guessing a majority of people didn't go to see Solo, or I guess who did even go to see it didn't like it as much because it didn't have those things that they recognized from when they were a kid. Yeah, I could honestly talk hours on hours about how limited the Star Wars universe is when it comes to making movies, but I guess that's it for that part. Do you guys have any closing thoughts on the future of Star Wars movies?
No.
Okay, let's see. Bob Iger was also talking about alcohol in Disneyland in this recent interview with him. I guess it was an interview. It probably was an interview, but I'm just gonna quote from the article, and I want Kris and Alex and all of you guys in chat, I want you guys to say your reaction to what Iger says in the context of what he's talking about. The context being alcohol being served in Galaxy's Edge, when Walt specifically said that he didn't want alcohol served in Galaxy's Edge. I got like lettuce in my throat from dinner, I can't get it up. Okay. Anyways. Okay, here we go. So, I'm going to say a few quotes. Let's see. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, the news of alcohol being sold at Oga's Cantina in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was mentioned, and how some Disney purists were upset over the announcement. Iger responded to the statement by saying, "We have to be careful we don't let people drink," and then go on Autopia, and then in parentheses it says laughs. So, and then he goes on to say, "I think Walt had a nip or two in his apartment at night," and then laugh again. "I'm a big believer in tradition. This just seemed like one of those traditions that if we changed it, the empire wasn't going to crumble." Okay. What do you guys think about what Bob Iger said in this interview regarding Walt's wish to not serve alcohol in Disneyland?
I have to say this first. First of all, I do not take very kindly to how he makes light of this, how he kind of laughs it off, you know, and then says, "Oh, I think Walt had a nip or two in his apartment at night." He's making Walt specifically sound like a hypocrite, so that way he can justify changing, you know, the rule. And I think that's kind of a dirty way of doing it. I'm not going to lie to people and say that Walt wasn't a hypocrite. He was. He wasn't a perfect man. He told people not to smoke even though he was a smoker. He told people not to drink in Disneyland even though he drank in his apartment, and, you know, even at home he loved I think, was it whiskey sours? I think he loved whiskey sours. And so yeah, he is a hypocrite. But the reason why, you know, Walt had these, you know, why Walt told people not to do certain things is because it didn't represent the Disney values, the values that he was trying to portray the company as having, you know, the kind of values that maybe Mickey Mouse himself might show people that he has. So it's like, it just seems, okay, so what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here is that Iger said that it seems like one of those traditions that if we changed it, the empire wasn't going to crumble. Well, here is where I differ with that. Not selling alcohol at Disneyland is not a tradition. It is an enforced rule. It is something that Walt Disney specifically asked for. He only asked for about 10 to 12 things, specifically Disneyland, over the course of time that he spent at Disneyland. And these 12 or so things that he asked, probably about half of them are not followed anymore. And the thing is that this is something that he specifically asked for, and in my opinion, we should honor that because he particularly asked for it. If I had told people something, you know, like, oh, you know, don't ever sell off my beloved car if I die, you know, I would hope that my family would follow that, you know, and keep the car or whatever. You know, I would hope that people wouldn't just ignore what I said and do their own thing. So a lot of people are treating this as, well, you know, it's more of a tradition, and traditions can change based off of time and what, you know, what the society is like nowadays. But that's just it. It's not a tradition. It's something specifically that Walt Disney asked for, and he only asked for about 12 or so things specifically to be done when it comes to Disneyland. And once again, Disney keeps breaking these rules to do exactly what he asked not to do. So there's only so many of them left, and it's like, at one point, do you respect Walt's wishes, and at one point, do you just succumb to your own greed? I mean, people are always like, yeah, but I really want a Dole Whip with rum in it. Well, too bad. Go to go to the Disneyland Hotel to get that. But, like, respect Walt's wishes. He specifically didn't want alcohol in Disneyland. So that's how I see it.
Okay. I'm going to say Matthew, or I guess Nate, said in chat, in regards to your car analogy, he said, yeah, but in 60 years, your car isn't going to work well anymore, so what's the point in keeping it around? Those in regards to your analogy with the car. But Kris, do you have anything you would like to say about what our fearless leader, Robert Iger, has said in this interview?
I'm actually, so what I've heard, actually, they're only going to serve alcohol in one of the restaurants, and they wouldn't allow them to leave with the alcohol. You have to buy it there, you have to drink it there, you have to finish it there, or else you can't walk out with the alcohol. Enforcing that rule, I would actually be okay with it, because my main problem with alcohol in any theme park is that it basically makes the whole place stink. If you've ever been to Knott's Berry Farm or Six Flags, you'll see they serve alcohol, and it's really bad there. You're just like in when it gets closer to night, when it gets into Halloween time or whatever, it's just like just alcohol everywhere. It's just people start spilling it everywhere. It smells like alcohol everywhere. Oh, not Berry Farm. Oh, forgot what it was. But like it gets really bad. But if Disney is able to control where the people consume the alcohol, where they have to finish the alcohol, and where they have to drink it, I'll be okay with it, because it's like they keep it in a confined area and they get drunk, then they just keep them there until they finish being drunk and whatnot. So I think it'll be okay.
I don't know. I think this is kind of like the gateway to allowing alcoholic drinks in the rest of the park. You know that Disney is itching to sell those rum Dole Whips at the Tiki Bar, and they're itching to sell real mint juleps, at the mint julep bar, so this is just the gateway thing where it's like, that this is the first thing to change the way Disneyland sells stuff, and it's going to be adding alcohol to the park. I mean,
also remember this, Alex. They're considering Galaxy's Edge to be a separate experience, or not a separate experience, but like a kind of a different experience, almost. Almost a different experience from the actual Disneyland park. That's how Disney's seeing it right now. If you talk to the people who are working on it, they don't view it as part of the park. They view it as like almost as if a third gate to the park, but a third gate within another gate, if that makes sense. So
I get that. I understand. Even I think Star Wars is kind of a separate gate, but nevertheless, it's kind of like more like, I think of Star Wars Land actually as more like a parasite that's leeching off of Disneyland. It's taking all of Disneyland's guests, taking all of its funding, and then what it's going to give back is this virus of let's sell alcohol all over Disneyland. That's what it is. Yeah,
I get it, but I doubt they're gonna actually put alcohol in other parts of the park, because they can't control where they consume it. They can't control where they finish it and stuff, and the guests can just take it anywhere they want. So I don't think they're gonna do that. If they start doing that, then I'll be against it. But if they're able to keep the guests in a certain area and tell them to finish it there, I'll be okay with it. But yeah, if it does turn out to be your way, like what you're saying, real mint juleps and stuff inside the Dole Whips, I would be 100% against it.
To the people in the chat right now who are saying so many things about me, I admit I am a Disneyland purist. I don't like California Adventure. I only love Disneyland. It's the only Disney park that I really actually love. And I follow Walt's vision and his policies to the very end. I will never change my opinion on the don't sell alcohol in Disneyland thing, because it was one of Walt's wishes. He's a man that I deeply respect, I think should be deeply respected. It's his original park, even though he's dead. I think we should follow what he said because he asked for it.
Well put. I agree. There's something. Michael Eisner said a virus is Disney selling drinks themed to the stupid Instagram color walls. That's also another virus in the Disney parks. But gosh, I think a couple weeks ago we were talking about how we were trying to figure out ways they would enforce the drinking in Galaxy's Edge, and I think we might have come to the conclusion that there's always ways that people can like find loopholes. Like I think someone said that at another park they give you like a bracelet or something once you've already had a drink, but and then they won't let you get another one. But what's stopping like your friend from getting you another drink even though you can't have another? That's like one of the things we were talking about a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so very interesting opinions here tonight. Someone said that it was that what Bob said. Is his name Bob or is it Robert? Because his but is Bob short for Robert then?
Yes, Bob is short for Robert.
Oh, yes. Okay. That makes much more sense. I honestly at one point thought there were two separate people. Anyways. I think someone above said that what Bob said was kind of disrespectful to what Walt said because, like Alex said, he was sort of just playing the whole thing for laughs. We have to be careful we don't let people drink and then go on Autopia. Like I guess that's like funny, but it's not.
Basically, he's saying it's not a big deal. That's what he's saying because I'm pretty sure he's responding to what the media said. Because you look at you put alcohol in Disneyland, the media, they're just blowing it up out of proportion. Like, oh, you can drink in Disneyland now. You only can drink in one restaurant apparently. What Disney said. So they're really blowing it up out of proportion at this point. So I think he's just joking about that.
Okay, that makes sense. Oh, apparently Bob is short for Bobbert, not Robert. But I don't know. What are your guys' opinions on how Bob has been as a CEO for Disney?
I have always respected Bob Iger. I still do. I still think he's probably the best CEO we've had since Roy Disney. So I still respect him. I just didn't like the way he worded what he said in the interview. I'm sure that he thought deeply about changing the rule. But nevertheless, that's how I feel.
Kris, what about you?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. About what?
What are your, I guess, like overall thoughts on how Bob has been doing as a CEO of the Walt Disney Company?
CEO. So when he first started off, I think he was doing a great job because the company was literally in a hole because of Disneyland Paris. So yeah, he was doing a great job. Now, he's still doing a really great job because what he's doing now is actually really smart. He's playing it safe. Before, they had to play it really tough because they either had to sit back and let the company suffer or spend a lot of money and don't let the company suffer. But now, the thing is, the company is literally at like the forefront of innovation for theme parks. So there's really no point for them to push the agenda further. So they're just kind of like sitting back and doing cheap stuff. And it's actually a great choice by Bob Iger. Because everyone right now believes and trusts in Disney, so don't need to do anything big. Consumers, it's gonna be kind of bad because we're not gonna get a lot of innovation or a lot of creativity from Disney now because they're being very, very back on it. That's why if Universal ever becomes a major competitor, which they're not of Disney right now, if they ever become a major competitor where they start actually eating away the market share of Disneyland and Disney World or other Disney parks, that's when you'll see a lot more bigger expansions constantly hit Disneyland. That's when you'll see a lot of stuff. So right now, Bob Iger is doing a really good job. It's just he's playing it really safe. He's playing the really safe card. There's no point for him to play aggressively.
Huh.
Well, you guys, I have to get going, so.
Oh. Okay.
I'll leave you guys to finish the show.
Goodbye, Mr. Alex. We will see you next week on our Matterhorn Mondays program.
All right. Say nice things about me while I'm gone.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure everybody will.
All right. Toodaloo.
Bye, Alex. Is he?
You should probably ban him.
Is he still
trying
there?
to do it now.
Is the time I ban him?
Yeah, I ban him now.
Is he gonna leave?
I don't think so. Maybe he's
Okay.
dinner or something.
Yeah, he can just stay in the recording channel, and if he comes back, then okay. But oh, there he goes. There, now he's gone. I guess we sort of already wrapped up this topic. Sam says already banned for you. Yeah, I guess we already wrapped up this topic. That was like perfect timing. Unless Kris has any last things he'd like to say about.
I'm good. It's just as a CEO, he's doing a great job because right now the stockholders are really happy. I'm a stockholder. I'm happy.
Wait, you're a stock?
Yeah, I'm a stockholder in Disney. Yeah. So basically, what he's doing now is very smart. He's literally and bumping up profit, which is exactly what you should be doing as a company. You shouldn't be going out there and expending tremendous amount of money for no apparent reason, and then just and you know, cause that's just massive risk. You just unless it's something where like it's gonna be successful, you spend a lot of money. So it's just like it's very smart as a CEO.
Okay. Oh, Jeremy says he's a stockholder and he's not happy.
What? Can you explain to me why you're not happy? I'm kind of curious.
Jeremy, type your response. Either in the Discord or in the chat. We'd love to see.
How
what
can
you
I
have
be
to
a
say.
Disney stockholder? Well, you just buy shares in Disney. It's pretty expensive now. I bought it when it was 70
cents.
Just no $70 per share.
Oh. Okay.
70 cents. It's like a independent company. People working on it.
How much is it right now? I wonder.
It's like 101, I think. I haven't checked it lately.
110.
It dropped. Yeah, it dropped from 112 in the morning. Not too bad of a drop.
Interesting. I've always wanted to get into the stocks game, but I've been scared after I got into crypto. Either way.
Crypto is not safe. What the heck? Stock is much safer than crypto. That's scary.
That's true.
Stock, you can predict it. You can partially predict it. Crypto, you can't predict. Or at least from what I know, you can't predict it.
I could talk a while about my experiences with buying and holding and selling cryptocurrency, but I don't think you guys would like to listen to that. Michael Eisner says, "What's crypto? Cryptocurrency."
Because I believe in a cultural institution, and it commitment to innovation and creation of. Well, the main drive of a stockholder is to make money, right? If they just keep innovating, they're going to lose money, and you're going to lose money as a stockholder because they're spending a majority of the resources to keep up innovation. It's either you innovate to make more money, or you play it safe to make more money. You can't innovate and make more money at the same time. It's very hard to do that, constantly do that. You just stress your workforce.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to see two sides, Jeremy and Kris. Kryptonite, you said in chat. Okay. Anyways, I think that's just about wrapping up all of our topics. Now it is time for Matt hosts Ghosts. I should make like an intro to this or something, or like a graphic, or maybe like a theme song for Matt hosts Ghosts. All right, that'd be kind of cool. Today we have a couple stories. We have The Butcher by Bryce, who is in chat today. Bryce, I did read this ahead of time. I just wanted to let you know that. And then we have Chapter 2 from The Crimson Wolf by Andrew. If you guys are not caught up on Chapter 1, definitely go back to the last week's podcast, and you will be 100% caught up on Bryce's story. This is Chapter 2, and there is one more chapter after this. We'll get to that next week. And maybe after we finish those, maybe Kris will surprise us with a spooky story of his own. We'll see. Maybe.
I do have some spooky stories from the Queen Mary. But
Oh.
Like scary.
Perfect. Okay, let's see. All right. So, yeah, we'll start with Chapter 2 from Andrew's story, and then we'll read Bryce's. I'm on to you, Bryce. I'm on to your story. We need to proofread the stories after mine. Yeah, I started reading them through, or I actually gave this one to Sam to read through, but I did read through Bryce's story. Or I skimmed through it. I didn't read the whole thing, but
By a spirit again. What is
will LMG get groped by a spirit again? We'll see. Anything can happen, guys. Anything can happen on the Matterhorn Mondays podcast, even though it's Friday, not Monday. But all right, let's get into this. This is Chapter 2, The Hunt, a part of the Crimson Wolf story by Andrew. Big thanks to Andrew for writing this up. Okay. It was a 6-hour drive to the Redwoods, and it was getting colder as he got closer. Sam, Ryan, and Kyle all talked about how cunning they were when planning their trip. Mid-January was the perfect time for a trip. Kids had just gotten back into school, and most parents couldn't afford the trip due to the fact that Christmas had just happened the previous month. They turned the radio on to hear Queen's now 3-year-old Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian.
I've never had to say that word out loud. And all of them began chanting the line, "Escape from reality," that reflected the purpose of their trip. As they passed the ranger station to enter into the Redwoods, he mentioned, "Watch out for him." The locals knew about the Crimson Wolf as well, and everyone laughed with great big grins. It reminded Sam of last year when he went to see Star Wars with Ryan and Kyle, and they all walked out of the theater with some big grins. They entered their campsite, put down their supplies, and set up their tents. There was a soft hush of a waterfall nearby them, and it was soothing, inviting Sam into a calming state of mind, away from the hustle and bustle of his normal life. They loaded up their rifles and began to hunt. There were plenty of rabbits, but not much else. It was too cold for the other animals they were trying to hunt, but Sam didn't really care. He was mostly just there to hang out with his friends. Night fell on the Redwoods, and a cold blanket of fog settled in. It was late, and the campfire was crackling and popping, with its embers flying into the dark abyss of the nighttime sky. It soon became 1 a.m. in the morning, but no one was tired. They stayed up, discussing their slow and uneventful lives they had put on hold for the weekend. The fire began to dwindle, and in good fun, the three of them argued over who would be the one to go and get more firewood. Eventually, Sam just couldn't take it anymore. He exclaimed, "Fine, I'll do it. We could have just gone and done it a minute ago in the time we spent arguing." Kyle joked around and stated, "Watch out for him." Sam was getting a little tired of that joke. He had heard it a lot today, but it was not going to ruin his trip. As he set his rifle down by his chair, he knew he would have to go a little deeper into the woods. The fire had been going out frequently, and finding wood close to the campsite was becoming more scarce. Sam approached a small tree. Mighty in size, it looked like a giant skyscraper from the urban city center. Next to it, the waterfall he had heard earlier, now frozen over, looking like some extravagant ice sculpture. A pile of firewood somehow had appeared and was conveniently laid out next to the massive tree and elegant waterfall. Then a swoosh passed Sam by. The air grew colder, his peaceful feeling beginning to diminish. For a second he believed it was Ryan playing some elaborate prank on him, but that thought quickly was diminished with what came next. A stench, one like he had never smelled before, creeped into the air. Then a sound, a crunch of the snow. His claws digging deep into the white powder, inching his way towards Sam. Sam felt the warmth of a menacing breath down his neck and heard a scratchy, fearsome, and powerful growl. Sam could feel his hairs straighten, and a chill swept over his body. Then he saw it, a pair of large, crimson eyes, glowing in the reflection of the frozen waterfall. Suddenly the light of the campfire died out, and a harsh wind swept over the mountain. Sam stared into the waterfall, transfixed on the set of those crimson glowing eyes. Then darkness, a torn-up jacket, and a wolf who had completed his hunt. Okay, that is the end of chapter 2.
Is it supposed to be like a novel or something?
I think so. I don't know. Andrew. Well, I guess we can have him elaborate it once we finish. But chapter 3 will be coming next week, everybody. You're welcome, Michael. You're welcome, Andrew. But yeah, this is really good, Andrew. I still don't know if this is like a copy pasta or if you found this on the internet and just like changed up the names, but either way, I enjoy this story a lot. So chapter 3, The Search, will be coming next week. He says he wrote it himself. Very good for you, Andrew. This is a really great story. But we do have one more story by Bryce. This is called The Butcher, and yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, there's a lot of quotes. Okay. There are tales of a man that lives in the old Matterhorn attraction. A man that is almost beast, living off of nothing but mice and liquidized fruit. A man that will attack you if you write down a foreign or long word. A man called the Butcherer. Alex finished his tale, and his friends shrieked in terror. They all sat around the campfire. Alex, Sam, Mateo, Bryce, Andrew, Avery, and Tay. They were part of a club known as Late Night Tinkles. Are the stories true? Asked Sam. Alex replied, I don't know, but we should find out. He reached into his pocket and pulled out 7 Disneyland tickets. These cost $7,000. That's all of my college fund, but it will be worth it. The friends arrived at Disneyland's wall and waited in line for their turn at the ticket booth. As the ticketer asked them each for their papers, they each passed through. One by one left today into a world of yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. The friends all enjoyed their day. Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise Rocks, Peter Pan, Big Thunder Mountain, PC of the Caribbean, Walt Disney's It's a Small World, until time came when the fireworks used to go off. Okay, everyone, write down your words for the Butcherer, said Alex as they walked towards the Matterhorn. They showed each other their words. Superfluous. Monotonous. Kamahamalama. Lashu. Okay, you guys get the point. They each, one by one, climbed the mountain and entered in the side. They each screamed and fell silent, one by one, until only Alex was left alone, eating his bagel. I need to be brave. I brought us here and I'll get us home, he said, finishing off his bagel and beginning his climb. As he got to the cave, he entered and slid down his paper down a hole. Superfluous. He heard a growl and then a yell. He screamed and started to run, but as he did, he hit a wall and was knocked unconscious. When he awoke, he saw a fire and all of his friends' bags and stuff. He was terrified until he saw the Butcherer. It was his old pal Matt, living in the Matterhorn. He was living off of Mickey pretzels and Snapple. All his friends were relieved to have finally found him. Matt says, with how expensive the park got, I just sort of snuck into this old ride and have been staying here. They found the Butcher after all. The Butcherer of words. That was amazing. Thank you, Bryce. I'm going to save this one. Oh, this one deserves to go in the Hall of Fame. Thank you, Bryce. I'm the Butcherer, guys. Yes.
I thought it said butcher. I swear it meant like a killer, but now I understand. That was.
Yeah, Matthew says clap. Thank you, Bryce. That was wonderful. A round of applause, standing ovation for Bryce. He made a fanfic and put Sam, Mateo, everybody. You guys were all in it, in chat. But yeah. So maybe we'll get a sequel one day to The Butcherer. But yeah, Kris wasn't in it though, so you're gonna have to revise the next one so he's in it. But
I'm just gonna be at the end. I'm gonna end this recording. Go, hi, Matt.
Oh my goodness. Well, Kris, do you have any spooky stories you would like to tell the audience at home?
It's about the Queen Mary. It's not like a story. It's just more about the stuff that I experienced there. If that's okay, I'm gonna see if the chat says yes or no.
For me, that is 100% perfect. But
really,
yeah. So anything spooky related, yes. They'll be happy. Okay, Michael Eisner says yes. That's all the approval you need.
Okay, that's good. The person who literally brought Disney to its knees. That's good to hear. Okay, so for the Queen Mary. So you guys know what the Queen Mary is, right?
Is she the Queen of England? Largest...
No, the Queen Mary.
I'm just kidding. No, I know.
I was like, wait a minute. So I'll just give you some history before I get into it. So if you guys didn't know, the Queen Mary used to be before World War II, it used to be a ocean liner, which will transport people across the way. Many people were killed on there from the seas. There's a staircase in there where people were actually flung off, because if the ship goes, I think 15 degrees upwards or downwards, the staircase that's going down to the deck actually becomes literally 90 degrees, and people fall off and they die in that staircase. And 5 people have been dead on the staircase from falling. And then after the cruise line, the ocean liner, it turned into a nursery ship, and many military people were killed or died from their injuries in the nursery ship. And then the ship also cut people in half. Excuse me. The ship also rammed the ship, so basically another ship cut in front of it, and it cut the ship right in half. And then the propellers cut the people up at the very back of the ship, and that propeller is still connected to the back of the ship. And then what else happened? And then people were apparently murdered. So I'll tell you the things that I experienced in there. So, they're next to the pool, which is apparently one of the most haunted places in the world. I was there with my friend. They were just kind of joking around, walking around there about 10 o'clock p.m. We're trying to look inside, because what happened with the pool was that it's too damaged to actually have people walking around there. It's apparently haunted, and it's a really weird feeling looking there. They have some creepy lights in there and stuff, which makes it look kind of stupid. But so we're basically standing there, and they have these old elevators behind us. You have to press the elevator to call it. So we're just standing, looking at the pool, trying to look inside. And all of a sudden, the elevator behind us opens up, and no one comes out, no one comes in, no one's in there. This is completely like at 10 o'clock at night. The elevator just opens up, and we just look in, and then it keeps going, and it's just like, okay, that's a little weird. The elevators they don't do that. They usually just keep moving. They don't come until you call. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. So we're staying around. Then another one comes down. Then it opens again, and it was like, what's wrong with this? It's kind of weird. And they have a little sign in front of it too. So, and then it was like, what the heck is happening? Time it happened, we're like, okay, you know what? We might as well go in there and check out what's wrong. And when we go over there, we press the call the elevator. Just like, what's freaking wrong with this? And we're standing there, we're pressing it, and an employee comes down and goes, oh, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, this elevator has been acting up. It's been coming down, up and down a lot for some apparent reason. I don't know what's wrong with it. And lady says, oh yeah, that thing is it's been out of order for the last week. It shouldn't have been running. I was just like, I don't know. It could have been a technical thing, but I mean, it was pretty creepy to think that, once you walk up and you press the call, it didn't come.
What do you think would have happened if you guys got in that elevator?
Or probably got groped by another ghost. I don't know. It was just weird though. It was just they came and they left. They came and it was weird. And then, so let me see. I'm trying to think of another one. The engine room. So the engine room is basically where many of the engineers, they were apparently boiled to death, because it's a steam engine. It's a very high pressure steam engine, and if a pipe breaks and you walk into that high pressure steam stream, you're basically boiled to death. Cause it's like 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's shooting out at like a PSI of like 300 PSI. So you just immediately die. So basically, I'm down there alone, where a person got crushed to death. And I walk through there, right? And all of a sudden I hear like that. I was like a little weird because I was like, all right. And I was like, maybe it was something down there. I tried to look down, maybe something dropped. That was kind of weird. And then, you know, I don't, there's something, so once you walk to the door from the engine room, there's something right back there besides the escalator. So I went, okay, whatever. I'll just walk back through it, go to the engine room. All of a sudden I walk through. Again, I was just like, and this was like, it didn't sound like that. It sounded like someone like hitting metal really hard. You know, weird. So I decided to test it out again. Nothing happened. So I went up and I touched the place where the guy apparently died. There's a lot of the paint's been worn away because people have been touching it. All of a sudden I was like, what the fuck? No, that was scary. It was like smacking the side of the ship with like a hammer. It sounded like super loud. It was just like, what the hell? And after that, I stopped doing it. So every time I walked through it, it would make a loud sound. Every time I walked through it, and then they started slamming something. It was scary. I don't know. The Queen Mary. No, not the Queen of England, Matt. No. And then I have another one, but this is not as scary of a one. It's more like they have a propeller in the back, and you get to walk around and explore this propeller. You're actually about 15 feet underwater when you're exploring the propeller. So basically, this is apparently one of the propellers that cut up about 30 crew members when the ship passed by them. So when you're down there, it's nothing really scary or anything. It's just stuff you throw down there. When you're down there, you're just looking around the propeller, and then immediately when you walk into the room, you feel like a huge amount of pressure against you, like you can't breathe. It's really weird. How can I explain it? I can't think of a way to explain. Oh, imagine if you have like a 300-pound guy sitting on top of you when you walk into the room. Yeah, that's what it feels like. It feels like someone's like literally pressuring your chest and you can't breathe. It's a really, really weird feeling.
Like a 300-pound guy sitting on your chest.
I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, if your ribcage was strong enough to support a 300-pound guy, then yeah, it would feel like that.
Sam says not to look behind me. I don't have to look behind me. I can just look in this
what's that
little
behind
webcam
you?
right here. Okay, that actually spooked me a little bit. But I had my eyes on the camera, the little webcam I have, so I don't have to look behind me. I just gotta look a little bit to the right. But I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay, fine.
There's nothing there. So Sam.
So the weirdest one was by far the elevator one. That was the one that had the most interaction. Oh, actually, the door one was pretty interactive too, but the propeller one wasn't that interactive.
Oh. What do you think? I already asked this. What do you think would have happened if you guys got in that elevator? Do you think you would have been groped by another ghost? Probably.
It was supposed to be out of order. That was the weird thing. So, and they didn't have any sign in front of it. The lady told me they turned them off, so they didn't have a sign in front of it. But it was.
Well, that's kind of sketchy. I mean, it could have been the employee playing like a prank on you then, if it didn't have a sign. Well, maybe the ghost took the sign away.
Ooh, maybe.
You guys are saying not to look behind me. There's just an Asian man right here, and then there's my lights, and then there's my fan, and then my other fan right here. So you guys are good. Everyone else saw that white hand, right? Okay. Nice try. Bryce was asking if he can turn what was it called? If you could turn a story into a book, you can most definitely do that. If you feel like writing out an entire book about the butcher, definitely go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's see. I think that's. Oh, Kris have more to say.
I was gonna say give Matt compensation. You're basically using him as a.
Yeah, you got to get all of us to sign a waiver. Everyone you mentioned in the story next time though. But it was rotting and dripping. Oh my god. You guys. Anyways, I think that's just about gonna wrap up this episode of Matterhorn Mondays. But let's see. How am I gonna do this? For those of you guys here don't leave the stream because we're gonna be trying out a game night on the Discord. So those of you guys in the stream, don't leave. I'm gonna end the podcast and then I'll explain what's gonna be happening. But for those of you guys listening at home, I'm sorry you missed the game night. It was the night of Friday, but yeah. So I'm gonna end the podcast and then I'll explain how this is gonna work. I'm gonna try and set it up for you guys, but yeah, thank you all for watching today's episode of Matterhorn Mondays. I hope you all enjoyed listening. We hope you all enjoyed. Yeah, Alex had to leave, but that's okay. But yeah, we want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on everything we talked about. Whether it be, what did we talk about? The Jungle Book attraction that's supposed to be coming. We want to. Epcot, yeah. Michael Eisner,
Marvel thing,
Bob Iger too.
Yeah. I mean Bob Iger. That's right, Bob Iger.
We want to hear all of your guys' thoughts on every single topic we talked about. So yeah, definitely comment down below. Thank you all for watching. Avery said this was a great stream. Thank you, Avery. I agree, this was an amazing stream. But yeah, so we hope you all enjoyed. Make sure to tune in next week for the conclusion of the Crimson Wolf. Is that what it's called? Yeah, tune in next week for the exciting conclusion of that story. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and as always, have a great big beautiful tomorrow.